Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. It is
A little late.
10 after 2. We had intended to be here by like 10:30. But we've had a little bit of an adventure over the last day and a half. Nick, show us your finger.
Can't really see much though, but no.
So apparently, Nick managed to get a pretty nasty infection in his finger. So he was at the doctor yesterday, and is the line still on your hand? If the redness comes past here, we gotta go to the ER, and they might amputate his hand, they might not. We don't know. We just know that we can't let the redness come past the line. So he was a little late getting down last night and didn't sleep real well. Finally got to sleep this morning. I worked late yesterday, so didn't get to see Maddie and spent some time with Maddie this morning. So we were late getting out of town. And then we had to stop in Columbus because we had a situation on a job site that's been a bear. We had a septic tank float there a couple months ago, and we're not sure if it's a residual situation from that or if somebody might have trenched through our line. There's been some additional work done on that site since we put the tank back in the ground, but we had to stop and check that out, talk to that customer, and we're gonna come check the show out and talk to some of the vendors about what sorts of trades they employ and what opportunities exist in their businesses. So we're here at the Load King booth at the Mid-America Truck Show. We got Mike Davis. Mike, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem.
What is the biggest thing that you want to show people here at the show, or the thing you're most excited to have brought today?
We got our Load King product here that we build out of Elk Point, South Dakota. So it's all American-made product. It's been around for 68 years. We're in our 68th year this year. And all the equipment you see here, this truck behind us, this one here, all of these units were built. Some of these were built in Kansas City, Missouri, and all this was built with American labor.
That is awesome, man. As a proponent of the skilled trades, we love to hear people are employing young Americans, making stuff right here, and we're familiar in the excavating business with the Load King product. You got an awesome lowboy trailer here that we were scoping out. What skilled trades specifically do you guys employ the most?
Assemblers, welders are our two biggest people that we use out there in the different industries we've got painters, obviously, to paint all this equipment. Those are our biggest skills.
What life skill do you think is most critical for success as an employee of Load King?
I think that really the biggest thing out there that young people getting into the trades need to have is just ambition and just vision and using mentors to figure out where you're going to go in life. It's the mentors you have ahead of you. Make sure they're very positive. You emulate yourself to get to where they're at. Take their advice and kind of follow their path along the way.
That is awesome. You were telling us a little bit of the Load King story. How did it start? When and what happened from there?
So yeah, Load King is out of Elk Point, South Dakota, and started in, like say, 68 years ago, and we built the very first belly dump, and the trailers continue to be built in the very same factory. Matter of fact, to the point where the original manufacturer's grandson still works with us, and it's a family business still. The one guy that's still there, he takes it very personal, even though he's in our warranty department and that kind of thing. He can tell you the history forward and backward.
That's great. So what makes working at Load King great?
The great thing about Load King is we built so many different products out there. It's a great company with custom truck that we really cherish people with entrepreneurial spirit, people that want to do better. And if you've got a great work ethic and you want to do better, we're here to foster you to become the best that you can be, and it kind of guides you along the way to make you better. We have programs where people start out just as assemblers, and they work into welding positions, and they become the managers on the floor. And we have several products of that are going up into upper management.
So we're a big proponent of trade schools, but am I hearing that if you had somebody that thought maybe they wanted to be a welder, but they didn't know how to weld yet, that they could come and work as an assembler and then you guys teach them to weld, or is that something you need to be certified before you come to work?
No, absolutely. If you come in and you just have the desire to go to work and ambition to better yourself, we'll train you on anything that you need to be trained on. Whether it's going to be a welder, you want to move on into a management type role to where you're overseeing an area. I'm a product manager, so all of the Low King products here, I'm over the sales side of it, and I also work with the factory. We have an area that builds refined fuel and LP trucks, so I oversee that. I started out as a mechanic and a welder, 30 years ago or somewhere around there. And I just kind of worked my way up through the company, and that's where my passion is at, is the mechanics and the welding side.
That's awesome, man. And I guess as we close out, what would be a parting piece of advice to a young tradesperson that was considering going to work with their hands?
College isn't for everybody. I was not a college kid, and I felt like along the way that was what I needed to do. I was a mechanic and a welder. I could always feed my family with those two things, with my own hands. I could always be self-reliant. I went on to college, and I ended up right back where I started because I still had this passion for what I was doing. So I would say to young people coming out, you can be successful on your own by just following what you think you need to be doing. Better yourself, find good mentors out in the field, and emulate yourself after that. Work ethic will get you a long way. Self-education is the best way to go, in my opinion.
Well, Mike, I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. We're here with Dominic from Wilkens Manufacturing. They build a really cool walking floor trailer. Dominic, what is the one thing you'd want everybody here at the trade show to see that you brought?
Well, we'd want everyone to know what we bring to the table with our live floor, walking floor trailers, the innovation that we use for self-unloading trailers with agriculture and different commodity hauling.
That's great, man. So why don't you walk us through a little bit about how this trailer works?
So basically, depending on what you're hauling, a lot of what we use our trailers for is agriculture, obviously. So for instance, this guy would be using it for shavings. So how our trailers work is most of our trailers are all going to be top load. So they load from the top, whether it's a front loader, conveyor, anything like that. They load it from the top. And then the way the floor works is we use the key power unit in most of our trailers. Every third slack would go forward underneath the load, and then they'd all come back at the same time, and it would unload from the back. So
that's awesome.
Takes away from tipping and in dumps and stuff like that.
So you guys manufacture these trailers here in the States. What skilled trades do you guys employ in your operation?
So a lot. So welders, fabricators, mechanics. We got a lot of hydraulics involved, a lot of airlines, suspensions. I actually started off in service, so we worked on suspensions, airlines, rebuild panels. Fabricating, welding, you name it.
I'm going to step aside here because you said something I'm interested in. So you said you started off in airlines?
Well, I started off in service. So I worked on every aspect of the trailer.
Worked your way into a different position now. So you started off as like a working with your hands trade person.
Absolutely.
And that's led to the career that you now currently do.
Yeah. So I started off in service and worked my way up to sales and eventually became the sales manager.
So I think that's a great transition into my next question, which is outside of a physical trade skill, what skill do you think served you the most, or do you think would be most important for someone to have a successful career at Wilkins?
I would say people skills, dealing with the customers, being able to take care of them, answer their questions. Obviously, being in sales, people are going to ask me a lot of questions about the trailers. I need to be able to answer those questions. Typically, I don't have to go and ask, advice from anyone else, but if I do, we've got a great team. I'm right next to engineering. I'm right next to the president of the company. So we've got a lot of people to go to if we need it. So.
And what makes working at Wilkins great?
It's family owned, family atmosphere. They're really good to their employees. Obviously, there's room for advancement, and just all the employees. Steve Wilkins, he's an awesome guy to work for. And when you enjoy what you do, it just makes it good to do. So.
So as we kind of part here, what piece of advice would you give an aspiring tradesperson who is considering a career working with their hands?
I would just say don't give up. I mean, if you know, a lot of people start at the bottom and they don't realize, what they can do in a company until they put their mind to it. And if you're passionate about it and you're driven, then you can go wherever you want with it. So,
well, Dominic, I appreciate your time. And there he said it at the end, our YouTube channel is Ground to Glory, and it sounds like there was some ground to glory. Here with Marty from Mac LTT, which is liquid tank trailers for the uninitiated like myself. Marty, why don't you quick tell us a little bit about what you do at Mac LTT now?
So I'm a regional sales representative from Mac LTT. I live in New Jersey, and I handle for the company all liquid tanks being sold from Virginia to Maine. I've been in the industry for my whole life. I'm 64 years old. I started out as a young man delivering parts for a company, for a trailer manufacturer, tank trailer manufacturer. And I just kind of grew into the business and had stayed with one company for 30 years, and I came over to Mac 12 years ago. And it's been a great experience for me watching a company just getting into a market and help the company grow.
So what makes a Mac petroleum tank superior to its competition?
What we strive for is quality. Our manufacturing plant is the newest in the industry. Our equipment that we use to manufacture our tanks is the best equipment that's out there. It's the newest equipment that's out there. We're the most innovative. We strive on innovation. We have to be that way because the question that you ask, what separates us from the competition? But we look at ergonomics, driver safety, various different things that helps the driver or the operator do his job. And that's probably the main reason why we got a lot of the business is because of our innovation.
Obviously, we talked to you a little bit about what we're doing and promoting the trades. Can you speak to what different career opportunities or what different trades you guys employ at Mac?
From a trade perspective, the biggest thing is welding. Okay, if you look at that vessel, if you look at a gasoline tank trailer that goes down the road, there's multiple welds on that tank, and they have to be certified because it's hauling a hazardous material. So I would say, in my mind, the number one trade within our organization that we pride ourselves on are good welders. So welding would be number one. The mechanical background is so important.
Outside of the physical job skills, being a welder, being a fabricator or a CNC operator or whatever you need to have to make the parts to build a trailer, what sort of soft skills do you think a person that's going to be successful at Mac would possess? Well,
yeah, I mean, you want to have the drive, okay? We're motivated. What motivates a person? The soft skills, you want to take pride in what you do. If you're a welder, I always looked at it. I started out at the bottom with what I did. If I'm sweeping the floor, I want to be the best floor sweeper that the company's got. I mean, that's the kind of soft skill I think that's important. You want respect. You want to have integrity. You want to have all those things, but I think it's got to come from within.
That is, I can't agree more, man. Like, you got to have some drive, and you got to want to be as good as you can be and better than you were yesterday, right?
Exactly.
So, what makes working at Mac great? Like, why would somebody want to make a career there?
I put it this way, okay? I work for a company, and it was corporately driven. Okay? We're a corporation, right? And when you get into some corporations, some companies, it's hierarchy, right? And it's a lot of decisions are made way up above to actually make things happen. This company here, they're nuts and bolts guys. I mean, the two owners of the company, if we're driving down the street in the car and the car breaks down, both of those guys are out there trying to figure out a way to fix it. And what I mean by that is they just listen to you. If you have an idea, if you're trying something, you're working on something, whereas other companies don't listen to certain level of employees, these guys, they want to know. They hired us for a reason, to get in here and provide that information.
I appreciate your time. And so before we go, do you have a piece of advice that you would want to pass along to a young person that was going to try to build their dreams with their hands?
Just try to be confident with what you know and let things build. And before you know it, you'll be an expert and people will be asking you questions.
Awesome, Marty. Well, I appreciate your time. We're here with Dustin Hembry from Industrial Injection out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Dustin, appreciate you taking some time to talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you guys?
Good. You were telling us a little bit about what the parts you guys make in your machine shop. Why don't you walk us through some of the cool stuff that you've been building here?
So one of the things I work on is I'm kind of the resident Cummins guy as far as the light duty trucks go. So 6.7, 5.9 base common rail stuff. We rebuild engines. Our machine shop that I work at, we do all of the assembly. We do all the cylinder head builds, all the machine work. We do roughly about 400 performance engines, like not racing necessarily all the way, but performance type engines, about 400 a year. So
now, are you guys building pull-in motors and
yeah,
stuff
we
as
do
well?
all sorts of pull-in motors. We do drag racing motors. A lot of people in our area like dyno queens, they say. So, we've got a couple of trucks making over 3,000 horsepower. One of our shop trucks makes 3,600 horse in the rear tires. So
well, we'll definitely keep your card because we've got a 6.7 Cummins in my workhorse. So
oh yeah, definitely some things on this little baby right here that you can use for an everyday driver and help you with emissions and fuel mileage.
So what different skilled trades? I mean, I think a lot of times you see something and there's maybe an obvious one like, hey, you're going to need a machinist, but what sorts of different trades, job skills are you guys employing?
We do fuel injection, turbochargers, engine rebuilds. We have a full drive-in service shop and everything. So, we're looking for somebody that, has actually a little bit of hands-on skills, but at the same time, you don't really have to. We have a full training program. You know what I mean? Somebody really with passion. That's really all it takes in this industry is if you have passion for the diesel engine, for mechanics, for fuel injection, for hydraulics, any of that stuff. If you have the passion, we can show you the skill and we can teach you and, bring you into this industry, making some really cool things in the industry. So.
That is absolutely awesome, man. Like, I think that it's so easy to have barriers in your mind to be able to go do something, and so to hear that you guys are willing to kind of train and prepare people who have that passion to pursue it. Outside of like the job skills that you're teaching, I'm guessing you probably are looking for a certain type of person or somebody who has some soft skills in place. Like what sorts of things would make someone successful in industrial injection?
So I kind of get a kick out of a lot of people are always like a lot of programs. I'm a part of a couple of college level programs, and they're always trying to teach this one class called entrepreneurship, which is super awesome to have in your mind that you want to start your own company. But if you don't know how to work for somebody, if you don't know how to get up in the morning, be on time, listen to your boss or listen to your instructor or whoever, and maybe it's not the way you want to do it, but if you can listen to the reasons why they teach you to do it that way, and then you can develop your own skills to do it your way, because I can promise you I'm not doing it the way I was taught right now. But I did listen and I understood. I've been working for industrial injection for 26 years, so it's not like just a come and go thing. I started when I was 18 years old, and here I am. And I definitely always was like, I can do it better. But you know what I mean. You got to listen to those guys. You got to do it over and over and over the same way until you develop your own skills. So you got to have mindful thinking to think about the future, think about what's ahead and how things are going to change, and also have good skills on the forefront of understanding that these old guys did know what they're talking about.
So you said you've been
a hard worker.
You said you've been in industrial injection a really long time there. So it must be a great place to work.
Oh yeah.
What makes it great?
Man, it's an awesome family-run business. We've got a little over 100 employees, and we've just been a tight-knit family. It's like super awesome. We're really fun too. Like I get to do things like this. Like I designed this booth for this show, and we did the Jimmy Buffett theme. One of the owners was a very big Jimmy Buffett fan, and so we got dressed up today. This isn't our normal attire. This isn't our work attire. But yeah, we're building pumps and engines. Looking like we're headed to the beach. But no, we get to do a lot of fun things, man. It's such a fun company, and these guys have taken it to the next level. It's a super awesome place to be.
I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. Do you have a parting piece of advice that you would want to pass along to a young person thinking about building their dream with their hands?
Well, I heard somebody a little while ago say that they had to grow up and get a career. We're all little kids at heart, and we always like to think about all the fun things that we get to do. Try to do something that will help you push your career. Like if you really love racing, or if you really love working with your hands, or building these engines, or building a truck or car or whatever it is, be passionate about it. Look at the long game. Don't look at I can't do that right now and get discouraged. Just look at the long game. Do something that gets you through, and focus on getting back to your goal.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. It's great to meet you.
Problem.
We're here with Jesse Walworth of Merritt Products, Aluminum Products. Being a Colorado guy and a Colorado company, it's kind of cool to run into these guys. Jesse, why don't you walk us through a few of your products that you're excited to have here at the show and tell people what you guys are bringing to the market.
Sure. So things we're bringing to the market right now, alongside all the heavy-duty products that we're well known for, is our light truck line. Kind of a newer product for us over the past couple years, been the transfer tanks. So we're excited to bring those to the market, as well as the crossbody toolboxes, the headache rack, all the different powder-coated options that go alongside with those as well. So.
Now you guys are manufacturing right there in Colorado, and what skilled trades are you guys employing in your operation?
So we are employing a lot of welders, forklift operators. We do a lot of metal fabrication, so shearing, punching, forming, all the aluminum products we built. Most of the stuff is all done in-house. We have lasers, laser programming, that kind of stuff, so a lot of CNC and automated things as well.
Now, outside of like a job skill, what sort of personal skills do you think would be good for someone to have a successful career at Merritt?
Teamwork for sure. It's actually one of our core values. So being able to work with a lot of different personalities and skill sets is a good thing to have.
We're looking for people that have good teamwork skills. Obviously, you've got different on-the-job skills. What makes working at Merritt a great place?
First and foremost, the people. People that are really great to work with. There's a whole lot of opportunity as far as growth and opportunity for individuals that are looking to get more into the management side, leads, supervisors, that kind of thing. I started out on the floor as a welder and came up through the ranks, became a lead, supervisor, and now I'm acting as assistant plant manager. So a lot of opportunity there for those who really are looking for that kind of stuff and that career growth.
You know, that's a great point, and a few other people at the show have talked about it. Like, you might start off working with your two hands, but there's different directions you can go beyond there. And did you go to college, Jesse?
I did not. I did not go to college. It was all trade school related stuff, but that's what opened the door to the position I'm in right now.
So another ground to glory story here. I guess as we part, do you have any piece of advice you'd want to pass along to a young person who was trying to decide what they wanted to do?
Give it a try and stick with it. That first year can certainly be challenging, but I'd like to say that once you get through that first year, things really start to make a lot more sense. You get through those hiccups and learn how to conquer all those obstacles that are in your way.
That's a wrap on the 2024 Mid-American Truck Show. And as we get ready to head back to Indy, just thinking back over the show, was really surprised how many of these companies promote from within and how many people started their career working with their hands and ultimately ended up in sales or management or some other career that they advanced to beyond the shop. So hope you enjoyed our interviews and look forward to having you back next time.